on a project. I was at the flea market and got this axe, and I lost the first video I made introducing this. So you've already seen me cut the handle off, but you can't tell what it is. It had dirt all the way around on it. This is what makes tool scouting fun. When you find a little treasure like this, yes, it's got some nicks and dings here, but I think they're fixable. And when you pull something out like this, you pay a decent price for it, and it turns out to be a really good find. Right there it is. It's a plum. So I am very happy about that. I think it'll be a fun little project to do, and it'll be worth doing. Have a really good tool when we're done. All right, we're going to try to remove some of this rust, and I think I'm going to try to use something I've not used before, some muriatic acid. I know we're not supposed to use this in a ventilated area, but I've got a lid here for this canister that I'm going to try to put on there and mitigate the fumes. Also, it's winter time, so the shop is closed up, so I can't really do this in a ventilated area. But what my idea is that when I come back out, I will make sure to take it outside before I open it. And yeah, this is already strong, so I'm gonna close this up. Look at that. That just turned out wonderfully. Man. A little bit of steel wool that we've got here. Clean that right off. Man, this is going to be nice. That is better. A friend of mine who does the welding told me about the muriatic acid and loaned me some. And it is better than sandblasting, because sandblasting tends to leave all these little pits for stuff to build up in. Now there's going to be some pitting from the rust that's here, but this just takes off the rust and mitigates all the rest. This is great. All right, it should work really well. Man, that's going to be sweet. That muriatic acid worked miraculously on this. I got it into the shop here, and you could already see that there was a flash rust that was forming on it. So I soaked it in saturated it with some some WD-40, and I think we're going to be in real good shape. This is going to make a nice project. Generally, if I'm not mistaken, and you can set me straight if I am, I've always thought that one of these was supposed to be more blunt or thicker than the other. One was for felling and one was for like chopping into the ground. Now maybe that's just the cruiser axes, I'm not sure. But to me, those look almost identical. So I'm just going to cut them both as felling axes, or grind them as both as felling axes. I figured there was also the practice of having basically two axes in one tool, so that one side got dull, you didn't have to worry about it. You could flip over and use the other side. That may very well be the case. I'd have to do some more research on it. But again, if you know, please let me know. Let's go ahead and put a good grind on these. I'd like to use my belt sander, but I always keep my fingers down here to make sure we don't get too much heat and never want any color in there. You can see where the tool steel is on this, and then in the middle is a softer steel. You just don't want to take any of that temper out. You want to keep it just the way it is. So let's go try it out. I wouldn't normally grind this because this is really not very dull. I'd be able to use a file to get that nice and sharp, but there are a lot of chips along here. I think somebody's used this hard, big chip out of here. So I want to get that profile set up, and I want to do that on the sander. I couldn't be more pleased with how this turned out. In fact, when I was setting up the camera, I forgot to check. I think that's where the big chip was here, and there was a small chip up here. We have a really good burr all the way across there. The profiles are looking really good. And I was watching a video on from Killinger, and he was talking about how you're not supposed to grind all the way to the edge. So I was trying to stay away from those edges. It makes sense. You don't want that to get too tender or too thin. It could chip. But I'm really happy with the way this turned out. I'm going to take it and we'll polish this up some and take some time on it and get those bits nice and sharp. And we'll get a handle put on it. Orientation isn't perfect here on the back, but it runs all the way through the handle, which is the most important thing, and so you can follow that all the way through and that'll still be a strong axe handle. And this fits nice and tight. It only goes about halfway on in there. So I've already done an axe handle installation. I'm not going to do that whole thing. I'll just do a few little excerpts on this video, but I will put in the description the link to the video where I do put a handle on an axe if you want to see that. is a very big axe. I've seen several of these double bits going on eBay, but they're only 3.2 pounds. And this one here is just under 5 pounds. You remember us measuring it. So I'm anxious to use it one of these days. We won't get to right now, but one of these days we'll try it out. It's not something I'd want to swing all day long though.